What's going on, guys? In this video, we're talking about why you need to stop making excuses and start taking responsibility for your life. Before we get into that, my name's Keith. I made this channel to help men create their ideal lives through self-mastery. Be sure to subscribe to the channel so you don't miss any new videos because I put out new videos every single day. So I got requested to do a video on the importance of not making excuses. So this is that video right here. And I've got it broken down into 5 main reasons why you need to stop making excuses, stop playing the victim, and start taking responsibility for your life. The first one being that taking responsibility frees you from slavery, all right? Anything that you're blaming somebody else for, you're giving your power to that person. If you're saying the reason that you can't build a great business is because someone's not giving you a loan, or somebody's not your mentor, or because all the great ideas are taken, or because the economy's not doing exactly what you want, you're giving your power to something outside of yourself, all right? So you got to take your power back, and when you take responsibility for the situation and say, you know what, regardless of what I come up against, what obstacles I come up against, I'm going to make this happen. I'm going to take responsibility for what happens, and I'm going to do my best and let the chips fall where they may. You take your power back. It's an empowering feeling in doing so. And you know, this is just how people survive. I mean, this is how greatness is accomplished. People don't know this, but about half of the companies on the Fortune 500 list were started in the middle of a recession or depression. So most companies, it's a given basically that you're going to start off with obstacles. So if you use your obstacles as excuses and make yourself a slave to them, you're never going to get anywhere in life. You got to take responsibility for the situation and play the hand you're dealt, basically. The second reason is that taking responsibility gives you control for your life, which is basically what I was just saying. You know, if you stop giving your power away, you then have control, and when you believe that you are responsible for your success, you can then make actionable steps to go get that success, and you stop making excuses and you start looking for opportunities and ways to be successful in whatever way it is that you're looking to be successful at. You know, I mean, think about, like, we love stories of people who overcome obstacles, but somehow we don't internalize it. Like, think about somebody like Muggsy Bogues, 5'3" basketball player, you know, or we see the great story of some athlete who had some disability, some physical disability, or there's all kinds of like inspirational fitness posts of a guy who's missing limbs who's still working out, right? So it really just comes down to when do you want to give yourself that excuse? And you should never give yourself the excuse, even if you feel like it's justified for you to give it to you, because you're just losing your power and control over the situation. And when you do that, you get very resentful. The third reason you need to start taking responsibility is that it gives your life meaning, all right? The things that you feel responsible for, you feel meaning for. That's why parents love having kids. It gives them something to feel they're responsible for the child's life, and in that there's a lot of meaning and a lot of emotion involved in that. So the more you take responsibility over your life, the more you're going to feel meaning in your life, because these are the things that you have worked on, you have built, and they just inspire you to keep going forward, right? Like, in a way, I've taken responsibility when I've built this YouTube channel and been doing all this stuff, and it's not a massive channel yet, but I still take responsibility for it, and it gives me something meaningful. I love getting up and making this video every single day. And in that, it just gives me kind of a reprieve from the hardships of life, in a way, in a very small way. And taking care of your bodies the same way, or having a good relationship, or working on building a business, whatever it is you're doing, these things, they give you that meaning that goes up against the hardships of life, because there's no getting around the fact that there's difficulties in life. We're going to have the coronavirus come in and put the whole country, I mean the whole planet, on lockdown, basically. We're going to have all kinds of natural disasters, hurricanes occur, all these things. Like, we can't control that, but in having something that matters to us, we have a reason to keep fighting through that, and in that, it gives our life that meaning, basically. And that is the key to having a good life, I believe, is to have that meaning in your life, but you can't have it if you're blaming other people. The fourth reason is that playing the victim leads to resentment and a disastrous life, all right? People who play the victim, they resent the person who they're blaming, right? They think that person is responsible for their bad situation in life. And when they do that, first of all, they've given their power away, but then they get resentful. They start to do awful things. And they look at the other person like it's the biblical story, Cain and Abel, actually is a great victim story. I think it was Abel was the one that was favored by God, and Cain was the one who resented Abel for his blessings from God, so he kills Abel. And Jordan Peterson, he did a great breakdown of what this meant. It meant basically that Cain killed his own idol, his ideal, essentially, when he killed Abel. Abel was the man he wanted to be. So people who resent other people in a psychological way, what they're doing is they hate that which they feel like they can't be, and in doing so, they turn their back on that, and they start to give up on the good things they could have in life, and they just turn their back on life in general. And you see it in these people rioting right now in the streets. There's a lot of peaceful protesters, but there's also these people that just hate America because they blame America for everything that's wrong in their life rather than taking any responsibility. And you just see the hate and anger in their hearts and their eyes, and it's just an awful situation. And those kinds of people, like, they're never going to have happy lives until they take responsibility for their own lives. The fifth reason is that playing the victim and making excuses isn't helpful. It's just not, regardless of if it's true. If somebody rear ends you in traffic, yeah, it was their fault, but does it make you any better for you to lay around complaining about it? No. Coronavirus shows up, you lose your job. Does it make your life any better to complain about it and be a victim? No. So just start taking responsibility. What could I have done different? Even if it is something outrageous, perhaps somebody rear ends you in traffic. It's like, well, perhaps I should have been looking around more, or maybe I could have left early if I'd just left early, right? Like, it's hard to take responsibility for that because then we have to put the blame on us, but at least it gives you a sense of empowerment, right? Rather than feeling disempowered. And then you can learn and correct. And oftentimes you're not giving yourself enough credit for the things you could have changed, because a lot of times we're willing to really quickly point the finger rather than look and see what we could have done different. When we look, we realize, yeah, maybe somebody screwed us over, but we also had something to do with that as well, and we can do better next time. But like I said, it just does you no good to blame people or to blame your circumstances for why you can't get somewhere in any situation, regardless of if it's true. You still have that moment, and you can make the most of that moment. And Viktor Frankl, who was in a concentration camp in Nazi Germany, he wrote about how he realized that the only thing the Nazis could not take from him was his mind, and he had the ability to choose how he was going to think and act. And so you realize even somebody in the most harsh of situations had that much control over their mind. Then you, in your easy situation in life where you don't have nearly the hardships of being put in a concentration camp, can clearly control how you're going to handle a situation when it comes to you, and choose not to feel like a victim. But guys, that's all I got for this video. If you liked it, give me a thumbs up. Be sure to subscribe, hit the bell icon so you don't miss tomorrow's video, and I'll talk soon.